Hello everyone and welcome. This is Eclectic Kelpi, where we dive into the treasure trove of fantastical media. And what do we say to the god of death? Not today, but sadly, Vala Magulis. Today we are going to be ranking the saddest deaths of about 100 characters from Game of Thrones. Now let's dive into the episode. Alright, I have a huge list on my tablet because I didn't want to forget anybody's names because some of them are wild and I'm just not going to remember all of them because there's too many and some of them are minor at best. But anyways, the 3 rules that we have for the characters, because there's literally thousands. Here's the thousands of characters that die. So the bare minimum requirements to being on this list was the character had to be in at least 5 episodes, which retrospectively I probably should have made it a little bit more episodes because there's a lot of characters in here who were just met the bare minimum. But anyways, 5 episodes at least, a named character, and they had to have died on screen, although there is an exception to 2 of them because of very specific circumstances, which I will articulate once we get to those characters. But without further ado, let's jump into this list. I might not have a lot of commentary for the first couple, just because they're such minor characters who just met the 5 episodes, or they just aren't very impactful. So, Rorg, if that's how you say his name, I'm gonna say this right now. I am dyslexic, and some of these names are absolutely ridiculous and make no sense in terms of pronunciation. So, deepest apologies if I offend anyone with my horrible pronunciation. But we continue to venture forth. But yeah, this guy, I literally don't care. I barely remember him. I know that he was on Arya's kill list. After she found out his name when she's with the Hound. Whatever. He's dead. Walden Rivers, I also don't care. I know that he's oh man, this is gonna be, oh man, I fret. I am concerned for the amount of room that is going to be taken up. But we continue. I'll make, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's gonna be great. This one is the magnum opus of these tier lists, just because there's so many characters. But we continue. Okay. Bowen Marsh. I also don't remember him, so I don't care. Kevin Lannister. He was the Hand of the King when Robert was king, if I remember correctly. Man, I don't remember him, so I kind of want, because okay, so how I usually go about these kind of guys is prayers and sorrows, because he was probably just doing his job and then something happened, but I don't remember him, not even a little bit. There's so many characters and everybody dies. I'll give him, oh man, but I don't want to give him prayers and sorrow. I don't want to give him prayers and sorrows and then retrospectively remember that he was an awful person. I just don't care. He's okay. He's okay right there. It's gonna be a lot of that at the beginning. I feel. Okay. Rickard Karstark. If I remember correctly. Okay, well I'm gonna put him in prayers and sorrows because wait, no. He was one of the ones who was supportive of Robb getting killed by the Freys. I'm almost certain, which would make him, I couldn't decide because Marjorie is so happy and Dany's like that. So this is this is the classic cheering good they're dead kind of a thing. So I feel like he's gonna go that. If I'm misremembering, then, but I feel like I'm correct. If I am misremembering, prayers and sorrows, but I'm pretty sure that he supports Robb's death and sells him out to the Freys. So, or something to do with that. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've watched this show. But anyways, I feel like that was what happened. So get him out of here. Rast is a Bolton supporter, which automatically we do not condone. Areo Hotar. That's what I'm going with. I'm gonna give him a Prayers and Sorrows just because he is some guy just doing his job. He's not a problem. He's just one of the Martell guards. He's doing his thing. Yeah. That's what I usually do with just, like, people who are employed. Prayers and Sorrows. He was trying. Hisdar. Really sorry if I'm not saying these correctly, but this is how it is spelled, is Hisdar. So, I feel like he also, like, man, he's a hard one because he's obviously, like, one of the, like, slave owner people, but I think he was trying to go through, like, a redemption arc for that, but that was still, like, his thing and his family's thing and his cultural people's thing. Like, it was, I feel like he's got to go there. Alright, Lancel. You know, he became kind of awful. Well, obviously he became pretty awful. But I feel like I'm gonna give him a Prayers and Sorrows because his family really set him up to join a cult. Yeah, I feel like he was just poor circumstances. Lothar Frey. I feel like he's gotta... I feel like all the Freys have to be, like, good. Good. Yeah. Piper, I feel like I don't really remember that much, but, like, I feel like he's got, like, because he was a good one, right? Like, he was good. He was, like, besties with John. They were trying to protect people. He wasn't one of the ones that, like, betrayed John. Yeah. Yeah. Sad. Single tear. Braden Tully. I feel like he's also got to have Prayers and Sorrows. It's just his family. All the Tullys. The Tullys and the Starks. They didn't deserve all of the horrible things that happened to them. All of the North, really. I wonder what that, like, commentary... I wonder if there's, like, a grander commentary, because relatively speaking, most of the people from the North really just got the poor end of the stick. And nobody's really, like, the good guys other than the Starks, I guess. But even then, like, everyone's pretty much morally gray. But they are the better of all the other options, essentially. So it's kind of... I'm wondering if there was, like... I'm wondering if there's anything, like, poignant about having North versus South and, like, North being the better of the two. So everybody down south seems questionable at best. But there's probably some commentary there. Anyways, yeah, Prayers and Sorrows. Pyatt. I feel like he also he stole dragons and was trying to be awful. So good. We didn't like him. He's kind of a cool character, but the waif is one of the ones that is an exception to, like, seeing the death, because we know. And usually, I mean, that even goes a little bit with Stannis, because we see Brienne kill him, but we don't actually see her kill him, if you know what I mean. Like, we see the situation, but we don't actually see him die or get stabbed, or the actual killing of Stannis. And that's kind of the same thing with this, is we don't see the killing of the waif, but we know that Arya and the waif are in the cave thing together, and so we know that she is dead. She is a confirmed kill, so she counts. I feel like there wasn't anything really inherently wrong with her. I think she had, like, again, it was kind of like the person just kind of doing their job, like, they're just trying to do their job. She was one of the faceless men, like, she's just trying to do her job. I think she's fine. I don't remember this guy. I think he was also one of the Bolton's men. Locke. His name is Locke. But I don't remember who he was. But I think he was one of the Bolton's men, so I'm gonna put him down there. Yeah, he was one of the Bolton's men. Banished. Gren, I think, is also Prayers and Sorrows. No, he's like his buddy Piper. I'm gonna say that both of those two were sad. Alistair, he was just kind of a nasty person, but he wasn't, I don't know, he was just, I don't know, I don't really care. He was just kind of, like, not very kind, but he wasn't like a bad guy from what I remember, in terms of like he was trying to keep the Night's Watch together. I don't know. Anyways, I don't really care. Zaro, I can't really care. You know, these two died in a vault together. Yeah. They both were just kind of like, whatever. Danny locked him in the vaults. Good. Good riddance. Euron Greyjoy. He's awful. And realistically, anybody who's in league with Cersei is a problem. Talisa, I think she's gotta go. She's gotta go. Like, the whole Red Wedding was just you know, she should be here. I was super shocked. The Red Wedding was crazy first watch, but I think she's too sad. And then Roz too. I think Roz is Prayers and Sorrows, because like, if you think about, she came from Winterfell. She was just trying to like go to the city and better her opportunities and stuff. Yeah, she's just kind of a person who is trying her best. And I think that that's kind of the same thing with Ser Dontos. Like, okay, now I think we're starting to get into real character. I remember these people now. These people mattered, for the most part, I think. Anyways, so Ser Dontos, I think also just his Prayers and Sorrows. He was really awesome to Sansa. He tried his best. He's Prayers and Sorrows. Sir Meryn Trant, he goes there. I don't think I need to explain why. Maester Luwin, I think, was Prayers and Sorrows. I don't really remember. Actually, okay, I don't really remember him either. I remember him, but I don't really remember him that well. And then same thing with like Dickon and his father, also Randall Tarly. Like, you know, at the very least, they were honorable people. Yes, he was a bad father to Samwell. I feel like in the grand scheme of how bad people are in this show, he wasn't even close to the worst. And I think it was honorable that he didn't want to bow to Dany, and that his loyalties were his priority. So I think that there's some admirable qualities to him. Shay, I think I was really shocked about Shay. Like, I think she genuinely like clutched my pearls, like, kind of energy with her. She was a shock, because I mean, everybody's awful. All the people are awful. That's kind of the whole commentary with this show as a whole, is everybody is bad. But I don't know, she kind of gave less bad, and I don't know, I'm disappointed in Shay, but her death shocked me. I was not expecting Tyrion to kill her, and it was heartbreaking because of how Peter Dinklage, like the actor, responded to her death. And I, again, like I've said in a couple of other of these tier lists, is very much like how the actors respond and how the characters receive the death or interact with the deaths of people around them is way more important and more impactful than the death itself, usually. Maester Pycelle, same vein. Qyburn, I think he's just claps. The High Sparrow, you know, I feel like fanatics, yeah, I think with, oh man, that is charged. That is very poignant and charged in terms of commentary of our world right now. And I think you can't, I personally don't condone extremism or the imposition of personal beliefs being placed on everyone else to follow or die or get tortured or have really strong negative repercussions. I don't think it's acceptable. So I think he's a very strong villain. Jorah Mormont, I think, also is Prayers and Sorrows. That's it. I think the same thing for Roderick. Actually, no. I think for Roderick, he's got to go in the tears because he shouldn't have died. If he's the one that I'm remembering, it was Theon who killed him when Theon was trying to take over Winterfell while all the Starks were gone. If I'm remembering correctly, and I think that I am remembering correctly, then that was pretty sad. I think Lysa was pretty shocking. That whole thing was so very quick. I mean, I didn't like her. You know, the really overbearing character, you know, yeah, she was a lot. She was a lot. But I think that hers was just a feeling of shock rather than like a feeling of sadness or a feeling of like, she was just like a mom who was trying to take care of her kid. And so I think she would go in person. I think she would go in person sorrows, but like, I think it was more so just, whoa, that was a lot. She flew. But yeah, I didn't like her, so I can't really give her person stars, but I think her death was quite shocking. Miranda, she's not a girl's girl. We cannot support women who are not girls' girls. And she's gonna support a man in torturing another woman? No. Actually, for that, we are gonna condemn women who support men in torturing other women. That's it. I think Walda can go in prayers and sorrows. She didn't really contribute anything. She just was married off and shenanigans. So, sorry, crossfires. Roose Bolton, though, he's also got to go down here because we can't condone somebody who's going to promote behaviors of other awful people. And so this is it's connected. No, which again, like Ramsay for that goes here too because he was horrendous. One of the worst, I think. And I think that's saying them a lot, but I think that he was one of the worst. The severity and his enjoyment of the atrocities that he committed, I feel very strongly that that's just not, that I just can't. Speechless to how much he was the worst. So, I think we also have to put Walter Frey in there. Also, again, the Red Wedding was insane. Yeah, not having it. Yaren, man, I don't remember him. Not even a little bit. Ed, he's got to go up with his boys. Jon Snow's team, loved them. Jonas, I also don't remember, so I don't care. There's a lot of people in Game of Thrones, and so many people died. It's, you know, who remembers this guy? Probably a lot of people. I don't. And that's okay. This guy, though, I do remember. Thors. I think he's pretty sad. Othel, I don't remember him. Not even a little bit. Ollie's a hard one because his whole thing is that he was saved from a wildling attack. Jon Snow then aligned with the wildling. I think he's prayers and sorrows because he was just a child, and that's really unfortunate that he was forced well, not really forced, but he was dragged along into this unfortunate mess. So I feel like prayers and sorrows. Benjen Stark also has to be prayers and sorrows. Beric died many times. I think he's got to go up here with his buddy. I think it's pretty sad. I also think that Won was pretty sad because he was trying to save them all. Like, he was trying to be helpful. He was trying to save his buddies. Viserys, crazy. Actually crazy. Cheers for his death. Shireen, I think she's super tragic, but like so shocking. Being burned at the stake, I think that's pretty shocking. I think that she's more so shocking than she was sad because it was just so visceral. And her mom, I think they... well, but no, because she left after by her own choice. I think she's Prayers and Sorrows. Oh, and Stannis. I think Stannis has also got to be Prayers and Sorrows because... wow, this is a lot more Prayers and Sorrows than I anticipated. I thought, like, down here was gonna be a lot... well, it's gonna get there. We'll get there. I think that Stannis is Prayers and Sorrows because technically he was supposed to be king after his brother Robert died. And yeah, Cersei's kids were incestual, so he wasn't wrong. And I think as a whole, he wasn't like a bad guy. So, I don't know. Melisandre is hard because she was a bad person, but by the end of it, she wasn't. I think Melisandre is one of the best morally gray ones because she's not doing anything from... she's a chaotic neutral. She is trying to accomplish a goal, and she's okay to burn a child to accomplish that. But she really believes that it is for the greater good and for the, like, saving of the land and then the world. Because she thinks that Stannis is the one, like, the prince who was promised, which is crazy. But she thought so, originally. And that means that she thought that he was gonna protect the realm from the White Walkers that were gonna come eventually. I'm gonna give her Prayers and Sorrows because I think she had a good redemption arc at the end. I do think she had a good, like, full circle. So yeah. Missandei Dracarys. That was heartbreaking. And how Dany responded to it was heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking. Drogo, his first time with Dany, she's not consenting. It's so clear. That's never okay. But then the show, like, I'm just gonna give him shocked. He's on, like, no ice. Yeah. The dragons, all the dragons, both the dragons, equally unacceptable. Viserion and Rhaegal, no. Unacceptable. Bring them back. I want my dragons. That was the whole point. So, their deaths are heartbreaking. Craster, obviously disgusting. Asha, I don't really have super close, like, personal attachment to her, so I think she's just Prayers and Sorrows. She did good for her people. Like, she did good. She was like, she took care of Bran and Rickon. Orell, I don't really care. I didn't have a strong attachment to him, so. Ygritte, absolutely heartbreaking when she passed. Or when she was killed by Ollie. This show was wild for that. Maester Aemond. I think he's got to go Prayers and Sorrows too. He's a guy doing his job. Oh man, this is getting really tight in here. There's just so many there's so many extremes. There's such polarized extremes of, like, these are just good people. Like, Missandei is just a good person. Like, I don't think anybody could argue that she was, like, anything but just a good person. But then there's the other extremes of, like, Ramsay Bolton, and so it's, like, it's hard because there's a lot of gray in the middle. There's a lot of, like, these are just people trying to live in this world. So there's a lot of Prayers and Sorrows. But we press on. Mance Rayder, I feel like he's also Prayers and Sorrows, but I kind of want to bump him up. I'm gonna bump him up because of the context of which he died. It's the people who were trying to take care of the White Walkers and died. They were trying to help save people, so I feel like honorable deaths, you know? That's the same thing with Jojen Reed. They're all just trying to fight for a better world. That's always the goal, is a better world. Leaf has to be Prayers and Sorrows. Yeah. The Night King, okay, he's not even like, man, yes, he's trying to, like, destroy the world, but I feel like the Night King is, like, the nicest of the villains, because he's just trying to kill everyone. Like, he's not, which is crazy to say. That's crazy to say. But it matters because the other people are, like, offenders in such horrific and extreme ways where, like, he's he's the least bad guy of the bad guys, even though he is the, like, BBEG, the ultimate bad guy that the whole series is based on taking care of this villain. But I'm not even gonna put him in the finally. I was originally like, oh, finally, because they, like, destroyed the ultimate, like, evil, whatever. He's just going up here. It's just, like, good job. We beat the bad guy. Like, good job. But he's not even, like, that's crazy. I've never thought about that. But, like, that's insane that he's not even that bad. That's quite telling. That's quite crazy. Moving on to Tyne. I think I'm gonna give her tears. It was really sad when she's in the prison cell with her mom and she has taken the poison and her mom's, like, watching her die, and, like, the stage in which she, like, the context in which she patches away is really sad. So I think she deserves to be in the tears. Obaras, I don't remember how she dies, actually. I only remember how she dies. I also don't remember how she dies, but I feel like they both died together, so wherever they go, they're going together, because that makes sense. And they're sisters. Okay, this is what we're doing now. There's no more room. So, Prayers and Sorrows is gonna have a line too. And in that is gonna be Tristane. It's all the same. Same with his dad. Oh, and their guard! Look at them! Dorn, Tristane, and I already don't remember their guard's name, but look at them! Perfect. Yeah. I think that makes sense. Good job. Oberon Martell, though, was devastating. And shocking. Actually, I think I was more shocked than sad. Because that was crazy. That was crazy. Just smush. Insane. Didn't expect that. Actually, for sure while I was watching it, I thought he was gonna win. Like, I thought he was gonna kill the mountain. Technically, he does kill the mountain, but, like, with poison and like, he still dies. Anyways, crazy. I think he's more shocking than sad. Obviously, he was sad, but, like, I think he was incredibly shocking. That was one death that I was like, I didn't think he was gonna die. So, Lyanna Mormont, I think she's gonna go here. Jorah Mormont, however, is gonna go down in Prayers and Sorrows. Actually, he's gonna go up here too. He was pretty sad. My enjoyment of him fluctuated quite aggressively. I was neutral, and then I didn't like him, but I think he ended strong. And it was sad. And him and Dany had, yeah, they came to a, you know, and that's kind of the same thing as Theon. I didn't like him. After his Reek era, he got better. But I think that he's gonna go in Prayers and Sorrows. Actually, you know what? If Theon is going in Prayers and Sorrows, so is Jorah. That makes sense. Both of them redeemed themselves enough to go into Prayers and Sorrows. That is, I mean, Jorah was less not great than Theon. Theon was, like, actually not good. But, yeah, redemption arcs. We do like to see it. Tywin, though, was awful. He wasn't that awful. He was pretty awful. Yeah, he was pretty awful. We're gonna give him a finally. Same with Joffrey. Joffrey. I think Joffrey and Ramsay, arguably the worst. Renly. Oh, Renly. Prayers and Sorrows. Same as his brother. Unfortunate. Marjorie is my favorite character. Her and Sansa, love them. Yeah, I was pretty upset when she passed away. Same thing with Loras. I'm gonna put both of them in the same. That was really, they just had such a raw deal. Marjorie did her best. I really like her. Marjorie and Sansa. And Arya. You know, I have grown into really liking Sansa. Arya was originally my favorite character because who doesn't love the sword training, you know, the all of that. We love to see it. But Sansa now, I have so much more of an appreciation for her and her internal strength and her growth and just a quiet resilience that was just, you know, but I still love Arya too. And I love Marjorie. There's a lot of good female characters in this show. There's also a lot of really awful male characters in this show. Anyways, Mace, Tyrell, yeah. Olenna Tyrell. Oh man, Olenna is also one of my favorites. I can't really say that she broke my heart, but I was sad that she died. But like, not in a sad, like, sad way, sad in like a triumphant way. Like, I think that she was like, just, I want to be like her when I grow up, kind of a way. Like, she was just so good. Robert Baratheon, the catalyst, the death that was the catalyst for everything that happened after Present Sorrows. The Hound, he also has such a wonderful I loved him and Arya, and he actually like cared, and it, yeah, I don't know. I'll do Prayers and Sorrows. And then the Mountain though, good job. We love to see it. Clegane Bowl, oh, man, this is so, like, it's bringing out a little bit of nostalgia also from watching the show as it was coming out, because I remember watching the last season with my friends. We like did a big like house party every Thursday, and we would like prep, and it would be like this whole thing, and I remember the like super hype around Clegane Bowl, which was insane. So, oh, it's kind of fun to look back on it like this. Like, this is a lot. Like, there's a lot of characters, but like now we're getting into the ones that I actually care about, that sort of thing. Like, it's actually quite sad. So, Rickon, I think I'm gonna put him in shocked, because his death was one of the crazy ones. It was the heart racing, like, oh, he was running for his life. He was trying his best to like make it and to get to Jon, and it was like, and then just arrow through the heart. Like, it was so visceral in the, yeah, I think he's gotta be shocked. Marcella, I think, has to be Person Sorrows. Same thing with Tommen. Peter Baelish, I think, also was a really good villain because he was interesting and he was a compelling villain. Varys, I loved Varys. He didn't deserve to die. That was when Dany kind of lost me a little bit. Jaime, no, he ruined his own redemption arc. He like straight up ruined his own redemption arc. He was so stupid. The way that he treated Brienne, no. I can't get behind that. Cersei, good. Like, seriously. She was the catalyst also for so much. She was the problem, which is awful because there were so many problems that were worse than she was. But again, we cannot support a woman who is not a girl's girl, and she was not a girl's girl. And she allowed her son to torture and brutalize women like crazy. So we cannot condone that, not even for a second. Robb was also shocking. I was not prepared for the Red Wedding. That was just wild. Very sad, but I think in the moment, just shocked. And that's the same thing with Jon Snow. I think just like absolutely shocked. Jon Snow got the Julius Caesar treatment so hard, and it was crazy. Like, actually crazy. And I did not appreciate it. And then Dany, they did Dany so dirty. I don't like it. I don't like that she became the villain that she was trying to stop. But I think her death was also shocking. In a bad way. I think that Robb's death was shocking in a good way. I think these three, like Oberyn, Rickon, and Robb, and even Jon to a degree, were shocking in a good way of like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh, this is exciting for what's gonna happen next kind of a way. Dany was shocking in a, they messed up. This was not a good choice. I hated how they, and also like Bran being the next king, that's just unacceptable. And now, my top 3 saddest deaths. This was a difficult choice. I have 3 because I couldn't pick. Which there isn't just one that is the saddest death. I think these 3, their deaths impacted so hard. Firstly, Catelyn Stark. I feel like she is one of the saddest deaths. It's always the parent figure that kills me. Her, Joyce Summers, Theoden also. It's always the parent figures. I don't know. Her death was just was the saddest. And it had such a ripple impact. And so many people were impacted by her death. And it was just so sad. And I loved Cat. And that's why she's one of the saddest deaths. The next saddest death, her husband, Ned. That also was shocking. If he wasn't in the top 3 saddest deaths, he would be in the shocked, because that really set up the whole series. That was like, this is serious. This is gonna be a whole thing. And again, like, his death and Kat's death permeated the whole show, and were just so impactful and so sad. And finally, Hodor. It was really he was always meant to die a hero. He was literally primed to die a hero, and I think that was just so meaningful and so sad. But that's the list. That is 98 characters. Look at us go. And that was my Game of Thrones Ultimate Tier list. I would love to know where you rank all these individuals. There's so many character deaths, so it will be very interesting to see everybody's opinions on who was like the worst character that we were super happy that passed away, and who was the saddest character and the best character that you were like, oh, emotional damage. Those were just my thoughts and opinions, so I would love to hear what everybody else feels down in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Everything with love, and we'll see you next time in the treasure trove. Bye.